So as interest rates continue to climb, I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the best savings accounts currently available in the UK. Now, before I jump into this video, I just want to mention a couple of things. Number one, I won't be covering ISAs. I'm not a huge fan of ISAs as generally they offer less returns than some of the other savings accounts that are available. So although your ISAs are tax-free savings, actually you often don't make as much money as the accounts that you're paying tax on. You get a better overall interest rate on. Also, most people have access to the personal savings allowance, which if you're on the basic income is £1,000 per year, or higher rate is £500 per year. So for many people, that carries the same function as an ISA. So instead of using an ISA, you can use these accounts with higher savings or higher interest rates, and you can actually save the tax through your personal savings allowance instead of the ISA. So that seems to be the best way to invest for most people. But if you feel like you've used up most of your personal savings allowance, or there's a really good ISA that's come up, certainly do your own research and see whether it's worthwhile for you. And secondly, I want to give you guys an example of how important it is to make sure your money is parked in the right place with inflation out of control and interest rates on the rise. So to give you an example, I currently bank with HSBC. Now, I don't have my savings with HSBC, but if I did, they are currently paying 0.4% on their savings account, which is absolutely pathetic, by the way. So if I was saving, let's say I'm saving £10,000 per year, that would earn me £40 of interest per year, which is absolutely shocking. And with inflation currently running at 10%, I would be down 9.6% on that money for the year in real terms. Now, with most of these savings accounts, you're not going to beat inflation, but the idea is to try and limit the damage as much as possible. But at the time of making this video, you can actually get a savings account. If you locked in for maybe 12 months, you can get around 3.5%. So that's £350 per year versus £40 per year. So that is why I wanted to give you that example, because if you've got a lot more to invest, let's say you've got 100,000 to invest, all of a sudden it's £3,500 versus what would have been £400. So it's very, very important you move your money around, even though sometimes it seems like it's not worth it as you're still losing money in the grand scheme of things due to inflation. But it's certainly still better to offset those increases than just leave it lazily in your current account, earning absolutely zero interest from most of the main high street lenders. So when I'm looking for the best savings account, the first thing I do is just go to Google and I put in best savings account UK. Ignore all of the adverts at the top, come down to the organic results and just click through the first few, as they are generally the comparison websites. And if there is a decent savings account available, they are almost always going to be on the savings comparisons website. So you've got the usual suspects of the Money Saving Expert, Money Supermarket, you've even got Money Facts, and you can go down that list, but generally these will capture most of these. And what you want to do is just go through these and make sure that you haven't missed any. So don't just go to one of them, go through 2 or 3 of them, and that will generally capture the entire market. Now today I'm just going to focus on Money Saving Expert as it's one of the best, I think. And I wanted to run through the 3 different types of accounts so you can choose the right type for you, and just explain some of the things to be aware of as you go through this. So most people that want to save money, the thing that appeals them to the most is often having access to that money. People aren't genuinely a fan of locking up their money for a long period of time unless they have particular plans for that. So you've got to think about your own individual circumstances. What are you happy doing with your money? Are you happy locking it up for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or do you want access to it all the time? Or maybe you will be happy to lock it up for 30 days at a time, and then you can decide every month if you want to continue doing that. But have a think about your own individual circumstances. So let's start with the top easy access savings accounts, and let's just run through a few of these at the moment. So the number one provider at the moment is Zopa, which is an app you download on your phone. It's FSCS protected, and I'll come back to that later in the video. And they're currently offering 1.85% AER, which is your interest for the year. And if we can compare that to the Bank of England rate at the moment, which is, the current rate is 1.75%, they're paying just above what the Bank of England have set the interest rates at for the UK. So unlimited withdrawals because it's easy access. The minimum deposit is £1 and the maximum deposit is £85,000. And you'll generally find £85,000 is the max deposit for most individual accounts because £85,000 is your FSCS protection. So if I just go to one of these other websites, you'll see here, this is the FSCS logo. And what that means is if these companies or if these banks go bust, then the government will pay out the money that you had invested. And the cap for individual accounts is 85,000. So you never want to put more than 85,000 in any of these accounts, regardless of how big the bank is, because if they go bust, you won't be protected by the government. If it's a joint savings account, then you're allowed up to £170,000 of protection. So it's £85,000 per person or £170,000 per joint account. So that is why the minimum max deposit is £85,000. And how to open this is an app. So I actually downloaded this morning. Very straightforward to do. And I'll come back to that later on in the video. They've also got some other examples here. And if we go to some of the other websites and we go and compare savings accounts, you'll see probably lots of names you've never heard of, such as Shawbrook Bank, Paragon Bank, United Bank. But the key thing with all of these, what you call smaller banks or challenger banks, is that you get this FSCS protection. Now, you might still not feel comfortable doing that, and you might want to come down and find someone, for example, like Nationwide, or is that Virgin Money, someone that you've maybe heard of. You maybe feel more comfortable just sacrificing a small amount of interest rate to do that. So you have to think about your own risk profile, what you're happy with. I'd be quite comfortable saving with anyone that has FSCS protection, but what I would do before doing so is I'd go onto Google, I'd put the bank name in, plus something like Forum or Reddit, and then it'll return results based on people speaking about their real world experiences. You can also look at things like Trustpilot, but the reviews on there, what's the best way to say it? I don't trust Trustpilot. That's probably the best way to see it. So going onto the forums, you generally get a better feel of what people make of these banks. But I would expect to see negative reviews of every single bank that you look into, but you've got to weigh up your own judgment on that as you do the research. So easy access is what will appeal to most people, but obviously the benefit of having easy access, the trade-off from that is having a lower interest rate. So the next level up from easy access is notice savings accounts. So these are similar to easy access, but you lock up your money for maybe a week, 30 days, 90 days. And then you have to give that many days notice before you can pull out that money. But the benefit is you can get a higher interest rate. So if we look at, for example, Zopa, who was paying 1.85, if we go back to, 1.85 on their easy access, if you choose their notice savings accounts instead and lock it up for 7 days, you get a little bit more. But if you lock it up for 31 days, which isn't a huge amount more, you can get an extra 0.2 on top of the original 1.8. So that's not bad at all to do that. And some of these other guys here are offering more. So for 90 days, 2.35, or 4 months, you've got 2.36%. So that's kind of your middle ground. And then at the very top, you have the fixed savings account. This is when you're locking in, usually for at least a year. So if we come down here, you'll see what we've got for 1 year. The top 1 year with Castle Trust Bank at the moment is paying 3.47%. And you've got Charter Savings Bank at 3.4%. And by the time you're watching this video, if it's not within the next few days of actually publishing this video, you're probably going to see a very different list here. This is why I wanted to talk you guys through it, so you can come and do your own research at the time of watching this video, not see some outdated recommendation based on what are the best savings accounts at the moment. So those are the three main types of savings account you're going to be looking at when you come to do this for yourself. The easy access, the noticed, or the fixed savings. You can do this on Money Saving Expert, you can do it on Money Supermarket, you can do it on MoneyFacts, whichever one you want to do. Just make sure you get the FSCS protection. Now, what am I going to be doing? This is my plan for the next few months. So as of making this video, it is the 19th of September 2022. And I think Thursday this week, the Bank of England are meeting again. And the interest rate is currently at 1.75%. Now, at the moment, the market is not sure whether they're going to hike it by 0.5% or 0.75%. And then I think they meet again in November and December. So the chances are by the end of 2022, we're going to be in excess of 3%, I would guess, for interest rates. So at the moment, I am reluctant to tie up any money for a long period of time, as I believe that the rates on offer are going to get a lot better over the next few months. I could easily see the scenario where you're being offered in excess of 5% if you're locking your money up for 12 months or so. So my plan for the immediate month or two, I would say, it'd be interesting to see what happens this week. But my plan for now is to keep it in easy access savings for at least the next week. And then I might start to hedge my bets. So I might start locking some up for maybe 30 days or 90 days. And then I think when I get the first fixed savings account of 4% or above, I think I'm going to lock up a percentage of my money for 12 months. and then I'll keep the rest in easy access or in notice savings accounts. And then when I get an opportunity at 5% plus, I'll probably lock up the rest. And what I'll probably do is have probably 70 to 80% of my money locked up in 12-month fixes, and keep 10 to 20% of it in an easy access just in case I need anything for any emergencies in day-to-day living. So that's my plan. This morning I just opened an account with Yopa, and I've already got an account with Marcus, but my bonus savings have ended with Marcus. So the reason I've opened one with Yopa is it's really simple on their app. I have no affiliation with Yopa, by the way, but I downloaded the app this morning. It looked really, really simple. I've gone through the process. Their FSCS protection is in place. And what I quite like about Yopa is they actually increase their easy access interest rates for existing customers as well. So if you open an account with them today, put your money in, and then they increase their interest rates, they'll do it for existing customers, just not new customers as well, which is really, really good and really rare to see for a lot of these savings accounts. The other thing as well as having easy access, they do offer that kind of 7-day, 30-day or 90-day lock-in where you can get a bit more money. So it's kind of a really good flexible middle ground solution until those 12 months fixed interest rates get to where I want them to be. Then I can invest more of my money into those long-term fixed interest rates that will help offset the crazy inflation that we're seeing at the moment. So hopefully you guys have found this video helpful. If you did, hit that like button. If you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel. And what I'm going to do now is pop up a thumbnail that links to the video where I talk about why I've sold my house, because I believe that the UK house market is going to crash. And I recommend you guys give that a watch.